How NBA YoungBoy's Make America Slime Again changes everything. NBA YoungBoy, the poster child for today's gangster rappers, has finally released his highly anticipated album, Make America Slime Again. Now, fresh off a federal pardon from President 45, aka Donald Trump, YoungBoy felt it was only right to align his album MASA in line with Donald Trump's MAGA branding, which is understanding for him, I should say. Now, for the last 7 years, NBA YoungBoy has undoubtedly become the voice of the trenches for kids coming up in rough inner cities such as Baton Rouge, Chicago, and Memphis, and this project pretty much solidified that position. Now, a few songs were a bit odd on this album, such as XXX, aka Sex and Violence, which threw me completely off, to say the least, honestly. But considering this album has 30 songs, which is a lot, you're bound not to like everything. And this album had very hit songs such as Fire Your Manager featuring Playboi Carti, as well as Games of War. The reason NBA YoungBoy loves Donald Trump. You see, on the song XXX, YoungBoy shouted out Trump, who gave him a presidential pardon, and is the primary reason why he's even able to go on tour starting in September, with direct lines saying, "Whatever Trump doing, bitch is good for the youngins, all hail Trump." And then later in the song saying, "Mama, I say my president, no Biden, make America slimy again, whatever Trump doing is good for all the youngins, sex and violence." Now, I never thought I'd see a time where rap and politics would be somehow hand in hand and coexist, especially coming from NBA YoungBoy, someone who's pretty much publicly dissed Trump in the greatest manners of the past couple years, especially in 2017 when he released a song called Red Rum, which is, Red Rum is murder spelled backwards, and said verbatim, "F Donald Trump, bitch, this that NBA shit." But fast forward to 2025, and after getting a federal prison, or should I say federal pardon, his energy towards Trump has of course changed. But Trump pardoning YoungBoy is very interesting, as a lot of hip-hop fans ready to look the other way and ignore the shenanigans that Trump has done in the past towards black people and towards, the younger youth coming up, because he ended YoungBoy's probation sentence less than 2 years after he beat his federal gun case in California. Although the two haven't had the greatest history in the past, what many people forget is how YoungBoy actually publicly thanked Trump 2 months ago when he granted him clemency. The reason NBA YoungBoy forgave Donald Trump. "I want to thank President Trump for granting me this pardon and giving me the opportunity to keep building. As a man, as a father, as an artist, this moment means a lot. It opens the door to a future I've worked hard for and I'm fully prepared to step into." Now, not many rappers have received a federal pardon from Donald Trump. And the main reason is because most rappers' state or legal issues are state crimes and it's not federal. Now, when it comes to state crimes, you get pardoned or, a clemency, which is like, okay, you did the crime, we're giving you less time or we're taking all your time so you can go home. It has to be commuted by a governor of the state of New York, Louisiana, and it might even be Utah because YoungBoy is in Utah, right? But when it comes to federal crimes, that's the only time where a president, which is only one president every 4 years, they can make the decision and say, hey, you've been here for a certain amount of time. I don't agree with how this got done. You know what? I'm going to commute your sentence and you can go home. And that is exactly what NBA YoungBoy did, or should I say, that's exactly what President Trump did for NBA YoungBoy, who had the rest of his jail probation sentence pretty much just lingering in the balance while he was just on house arrest and he beat his case. But how did Trump know who NBA YoungBoy was and even get the strings pulled to have this done behind the scenes? Now, in April 2024, DJ Academic sat down with Donald Trump Jr., which is obviously his son, and asked what could be done to pardon the Baton Rouge's finest, NBA YoungBoy.
By the way, a lot of people are asking. There's a guy who's a beloved. He's just a misunderstood guy. Actually, his name is NBA YoungBoy. Okay. He's been on federal house arrest. He lives in Utah. He was on federal house arrest for like 2.5 years, which to me just sounds wrong. Like if
for what?
For gun possession. He basically shot a music video. They believe that they got a call that, hey, there were guys on a block that were shooting a video and they saw weapons. They pulled up.
So they don't even know?
Well, the police showed up. No one was there. They grabbed one guy who happened to be his cameraman, and because he's a big name, they seen him on camera holding what they believe is a weapon, and they're like, well, we're going to give you charges for that. So he has federal charges for that.
But it could have been a prop? They don't even know?
It could have been a prop. And they've been arguing, hey, this is a prop. That's their actual argument in court. He's been sitting on federal house arrest for 2.5 years. And, he got picked up today. Something happened at his house, I guess. They raided it, and they picked him up. And now everyone's saying, you got to ask Donald Trump Jr., if Trump gets back in office and this guy's locked up, we got to throw him to the top of the party.
Although this conversation involving NBA YoungBoy was very brief, I definitely believe the academics sitting down with the president's son and bringing that situation to their attention was a big part of NBA YoungBoy getting a pardon, because not a lot of rappers, maybe it was Kodak Black, Lil Wayne, See Murder, they're still trying to get him pardoned, but that's a state charge. Literally, you can name on one hand the amount of rappers that's really been pardoned by a president for something that they did and may should have done longer time, but they got lucky. Now, although Trump is very old, I'm assuming that there's a lot of millennials or a few Gen Z people on his team who are tapped in with the music leaders or the certain demographics, such as, I hate to say the YNs, but the younger black male audience in America, and knowing who they like to listen to and who will they take advice from. And obviously, Trump was already in office, so him, promoting YoungBoy, should I say pardoning YoungBoy, really just helps to like build his grace within like the black community, people who are hard, avid fans, because he's already in office. He could have just ignored this once he got in, but he still, held his word. And well, we didn't even know this was gonna happen until it finally came out this year. And he's pretty much gone to the good grace of everyone in black America who's under the age of 25, who was a hardcore rap fan. Now, according to DJ Academics, he spoke with YB about what he was going to perform on this tour. As you know, Make America Slime Again is just over a month away. He was brainstorming ideas with Top today about his upcoming tour. He was trying to go crazy with the tour performance-wise, but he was stuck on generally not knowing what fans want him to perform. Also, he wondered what female artists that he should be touring with when it comes to his tour. The truth about YoungBoy's music. The truth about YoungBoy right now is many fans love his older music 100 times more than his current music. And it's really not a secret. Now, I'm not going to sit here and berate YoungBoy's new work, such as Richest Op, Decided To, and things that came out after 2022 when he was seriously on house arrest. But what I will say is, from between 2017 to 2021, when he released AI YoungBoy 1, AI YoungBoy 2, Until Death Call My Name, Top, and lately, Sincerely Control, that was prime YoungBoy music that literally nothing could be topped by that. Now, YoungBoy, of course, was on house arrest the past 2 to 3 years, and essentially hurt and both helped his career at the same time. Now, it helped his career because he was in the house a lot, had nothing to do, and he was consistently putting out a lot of music, so people were never forgot about him. He pretty much never fell off ever since he came into the game in 2016, 2017, and he's always been relevant. Now, the way I'll kind of hurt him, though, is because he put out so much music that I don't want to say the quality depleted, but it's hard to put out 10-star albums in the span of 12 months. Like, you're putting out 12 albums in a year, or 10 albums within 12 months. It's hard for you to have the best quality when you're putting out so much music and you're not really taking your time. But I get it. You can't leave your house. You're on house arrest. You got a gun charge. You got a drug charge. They think you're running a drug ring. So there's a lot of restrictions in your life that's preventing you from doing regular people things that will give you new experiences to talk about in your music. Now, how do rap fans truly feel about NBA YoungBoy? Now, after going through YoungBoy's Reddit, some people had some very strong opinions, might I say, about his new album. Young black man, notoriously incarcerated or on house arrest, gets a pardon, then releases an album literally called MASA, praising a far right-wing president, and this is honestly an antithesis of what hip-hop used to be, or was supposed to be, I should say. Then a second person responds to the subreddit would say, I guarantee you this will be on a lot of people's worst albums of the year list, and I'm not even going to check it out, knowing that it praises Trump. I'm just happy the album is getting the hate that a Trump praising album deserves. Also, because this needs to be said, Trump is just a far right-wing president, which is already bad enough, and he's an absolute psychopath that destroyed the morality of our country. Now, this 30-song album has people with very mixed opinions. Now, what I will say is YoungBoy's project was okay. I do feel like if he made it with less songs, maybe 13 or 14 songs, and maybe had like 6 solid ones and a couple ones fill in between, it would have had a better perception. But I think because he's been gone so long, he wanted to give even more music. But sometimes less really is more. Now, it doesn't take away from the value of the music, but sometimes I feel like if you just give less, people would appreciate it more because there's just not much more to get from you. Now, what I want you guys to do is let me know how you feel about this album and comment right down on this video. And make sure you subscribe and follow my Instagram at JaredTheStar1. And let me know, what are your real thoughts on this album? Was I holding back? Was I being honest? And what do you really feel? I'll see you guys in the next one.